A Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate production. Behind the Podcast with Nico Santos. This show is about people behind the microphone and their story, how they started their journey to become successful podcaster. They will share help and tips in this growing industry. Behind the Podcast with Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate founder Nico Santos. Pay it forward today.
First question is, what is work-life balance to you?
Life and finance coaches Neri Sotero and Jendee de Guzman.
Hello everybody. So again, welcome to our podcast. This is Coach Jendee.
And this is Coach Neri.
Welcome to Pay It Forward Today.
Kaya naisip ko na bilang life and finance coach, dapat meron tayong certain expertise din. Ngayon kasi emerging talaga yung life and finance coaching, diba?
Share their life stories to pay it forward today.
I really allot time for family events, lalo ng weekends. So para ma-balance ko yung work and life, I have to make sure na yung pag-work ko, meron din siyang konting limit naman.
Hello, Humanista. This is Nico Santos again for another episode of Behind the Podcast. So, last week, nakausap natin si Mimi Laurillo ng Somewhat Sorry Conversation with Mimi. So, it's a mother talk about their topic. Now, today, our next podcast guest is, they have a podcast show, the name is Pay It Forward Today. Ano ba ibig sabihin nun? Ano yung magbabayad ba ako ng utang? Ano ba yan? Advance payment ba yan? Oo. So, talakayan natin. So, we'll have to discuss what is Pay It Forward Today. So, we have, of course, Coach Neri Sotero and Coach Jendee de Guzman. Welcome to the show, Behind the Podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Alright. So,
thank you so much.
Thank you. So, thank you for your time. So, alam natin it's very busy lahat because lahat na sa bahay, GCQ, so a lot of Zoom meeting, lahat. So, work from home, just like you, work from home. So, medyo kakaiba na. So, the new normal nga. Lahat ng sinabi niyo before, this is the new normal. 2.5 distancing, social distancing. Hindi man natin alam yan before, but now, meron ng ganon. So, before we continue our program today, so, Neri and Jendee, can you tell us about yourself? So, sino una?
Yes, sure. Si Coach Neri. Go, Coach. Siya talaga
Okay.
yung pinaka, brain of the Pay It Forward Today. Yan.
Okay. To introduce myself, I'm a life coach and a financial advisor. Actually, parang ini-introduce ko na rin si Coach Jendee kasi parehas lang naman kami.
Yes.
We're both in the same life insurance company. We're both managers there. And at the same time, we're life coaches. To answer naman yung kanina, ano nga ba yung forward today? Nabanggit na rin naman Coach Jendee na ako kasi yung nagka-idea last year when I did my mini retirement last year. Medyo napaisip ako anong gusto kong gawin. Tapos I was listening to ako podcast, The Minimalists. And then I noticed, nagkukwentuhan lang naman sa sharing their stories, their experiences. And nabanggit ko yung kay Coach, sabi ko, Coach, baka gusto mo rin gawin, no? Try lang natin. Even if we didn't know how to do a podcast. Basta nag-record lang kami. And it all started there last year. So, may 1 year na kami. Yan. Coach.
Yay!
How about you, Jendee?
So,
So that people would know.
In addition kay... Yeah, go ahead, Nico.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. So yeah, just introduce yourself as well, so that the listener and the viewer knows about you as well, Coach.
Okay. Sige. So we're both life and finance coaches. So Coach Neri already mentioned that we're both from the insurance industry. And then yung Pay It Forward today, I remember, so yun na, na-celebrate namin yung first year namin. Sa isang small room lang siya nag-start. Tapos basta nasabi lang sa akin ni Coach Neri na mag-record kami. Sabi ko, sige, go. Tapos biglang basta naisip lang namin, pumasok kami sa isang room. Tapos yung nirecord nga namin siya sa phone lang. Tapos in-upload na lang siya din ni Coach Neri. Siya kasi yung nag-edit nung aming pinaka-audio. Expertise niya talaga yon sa part na yon. Tapos, naisip din kasi namin yung reason why it's paid forward today. Kasi it's really paying forward yung, parang yung future self mo. Gusto namin, ito yung maging reward namin in the future for ourselves. And at the same time, meron kaming guide dun sa aming next generation. Then matuto rin sila from our own personal experiences. And tingin ko, isa sa unique ng Pay It Forward today, majority doon talaga based on our personal experiences. And I'm sure most of our listeners can relate naman din. So, yan. Medyo marami yata ako nasabi, no? But yun. Actually, marami pang kwento behind it. But in a nutshell, that's Pay It Forward today. Ayan.
So, a lot of people saying doesn't know about life coaches. So, ano ba to? What is life coaches? So, ibig sabihin, kailangan ko ba ng life coaches sa buhay ko, or why I need a life coach?
Coach Nair, you want to answer first? Okay, sige po. Life coaching, actually kasi ako naman to give you an idea how I became a life coach. I want to level up dun sa lahat ng aspects of my life, most especially when I became a mother. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, paano kaya isa-set yung stage for my daughter? Yan. So kung napansin siguro ng iba nating mga followers sa podcast and also dun sa mga videos namin recently ni Coach Neri, may pasingit-singit ako na maliit yung 4-year-old daughter ko, no? And yung pagiging mother kasi, ayan, katulad niyan, sumingit talaga siya. So, yung pagiging mother ko rin gave birth for me to become an author. So, sabi ko sa sarili ko, ano kayong pwede kong gawin or pwede kong i-take na class or any form of leveling up also sa sarili ko na in a way, I can also teach my child habang lumalaki siya. So, again, sabi ko nga nung naging mother ako, it gave birth for me to become an author also. Tapos sabi ko, bakit sa anak ko lang siya ifo-focus? So, meron din siya mga counterparts like anak ng mga friends ko, anak ng mga clients ko. So, tugma din siya dun sa paying it forward today. So, yung life coaching, yan. Ito yung isa sa mga inspiration ko, itong anak ko. Sa life coaching kasi sabi ko, maganda rin na use life coaching as a platform to level up in all areas. Kasi believer kami ni Coach Neri ng balanced life eh. Para sa akin, hindi siya pwedeng, para sa amin rather, hindi porket okay yung isang aspect ng life mo like finance, tapos down ka naman dun sa relationships. O okay ka naman sa relationships, tapos down ka naman dun sa finance. So, para sa amin, it's more of a holistic approach to life. So, kaya talagang in-embrace namin yung life coaching. Hindi lang sa personal, but most importantly dun sa aming industry also, yung mga agents namin na iba-iba rin yung age. So, yan. Sige po, Coach Neri, meron kang gustong i-add, I'm sure.
Regarding life coaching, nabanggit naman ni Coach Jendee yung story niya. Ako naman, naging life coach because an existing client sa financial services ko na, she asked me kung maging life coach niya ako kasi she was already asking me about business practices, more on that level kasi business owner siya. And she had an issue kung paano i-run yung business, mga ganun. So, I started off with actually business coaching. And then, naging life coaching kasi, yun nga, yung nasabi ni Coach Jendee, hindi lang naman kasi isang aspect yun eh. And even if, for example, the business is not doing well, may times talaga, it's as yung personal natin, hindi okay eh. Kaya, it reflects dun sa ibang aspects ng life natin. Kaya rin na-mention ko to din sa podcast na hindi ko matanggal yung life and finance dun sa pagiging coach because it all started with finances, but it boils down to the overall balanced life na. No? And natanong ni Miko, do we need life coaches? If we need clarity in life, especially with specific aspects, a life coach will help you drill down kasi to guide you. But the life coach will not answer kasi all answers lie within us. So it's just a matter of guiding lang yourself na yung kung ano talaga yung gusto mo para yung direction mo, you know where to go.
Is that hard to be a life coaches?
I think depende rin siguro, no? Siguro kung merong hard na part doon, yung sometimes na-adapt mo rin talaga yung feelings nung coaching mo. But as life coaches, meron din talagang strategies na ginagamit kami to, yung katulad ng topic namin dun sa last podcast is to switch. Kasi kailangan yung hat na sinusuot mo, life coach ka talaga. So, hindi pwedeng, halimbawa, sobrang yung feelings ni coachee, 'di ba? Merong concern siya, hindi pwedeng gano'n na gano'n ka na rin. So, 'di ba? So, 'yan.
To add, mahirap ba maging life coach? It's easier when you like people, when you like to help people. It's easier when you like studying human behavior, mga ganun. But, of course, every profession naman may challenge. So, yung nabanggit ni Coach Jendee na challenge is, of course, because you're dealing with emotional challenges, mental challenges, dapat ikaw din, you're mentally and emotionally stable. Kaya, may na-attendan ako about mental health. Even counselors, they don't do counseling when they're not okay. So, may part yun na you also have to be aware kung nasaan ka, so you would be able to help. Kasi kung emotional ka rin, edi parehas lang kayong magiging emotional ng coaching mo, or kung magulo ka, magiging magulo din yung coaching mo. So, it all starts again, going back to the self.
Okay. To be qualified to be as a life coach, so did you study, done an exam for accreditation? How
As I mentioned earlier, ako, ni-request kasi ako maging life coach. So, what happened to me was, parang natural siyang dumating. And when I was, before I was a financial advisor kasi, I was a supervisor in the IT industry. So, basically managing na rin people. I didn't know that I was already coaching people. So, that helped me, kumbaga, yung foundation about people management helped me in human behavior. And when I became a financial advisor, nadagdagan because, of course, more exposure to people. So, yung listening skills ko talaga na-enhance. And then, when I went to life coaching na rin, na-practice ko siya, I started din watching more, learning more about it. Nabanggit ko rin. Meron kaming podcast episode about life coaching, yung journey namin. So, nabanggit ko dun is EverCoach, yun, pina-follow ko yun. And then, we also have trainings din kasi that complemented, like yung neuro-linguistic programming, trainings, mga ganon. So, to help clients.
Okay, so looks like a lot of tasks na ginagawa nyo being a life coaches. Is that because of the COVID-19 right now, the pandemic, is that affect on your being a life coaches and financial advisor as well?
Well, ang kagandahan naman right now, like we have, katulad nito, we do Zoom calls, no? So, naapektuhan man, it's more on the ability of the person to go online. Kung hindi siya makakapag-online, of course, we cannot reach out to those people. But most of us naman are online. So, it continues. With the financial services naman, we're thankful that our company has implemented online services din, kaya nakakapagpatuloy din.
Why pay it forward today, yung podcast mo? Kasi I remember every April 28, there is a pay it forward day. So it's like a global initiative that exists to make a difference by creating a huge ripple of kindness fell across the world. That's pay it forward day. So is that coincident yung pag-title nyo ng podcast nyo?
Actually, ngayon ko lang narinig yan yung mayroong pay it forward day pala, no? Thank you for the new info. I didn't know that. But I know the concept of paying it forward. Yun naman yung reason bakit yun yung napili naming title. Kasi when we started, parang tinanong, sabi ko, ano bang pag-uusapan natin? Why are we doing this? And then she mentioned nga, si Coach Jendee, she mentioned that she wanted to leave a legacy to the future generation, especially, yun nga yung nabanggit na kanina na because of her child, na-inspire siya to leave a legacy. Ako naman, why am I doing the podcast is to help yung dating ako. Kumbaga, kung yung journey ko na before, for example, I was an introvert, I wouldn't do this before. Yung mga ganong journey na I'm paying it forward to that old self na for sure meron pa rin mga ganong tao na they are clueless, paano ba, ano ba yung susunod, and at the same time, yung parang kung dati ako nagbabasa ako ng libro, nakikinig ako ng mga podcast, di ba? So, I'm just paying it forward to that person. Kaya naging ganun yung title. And then today, kasi we want to do it now. Diba?
So when we started, what year is that? Already 1 year now? The podcast.
Yes, it turned 1 year last May 29.
Okay. So for our listener and viewer as well, ano yung ma-expect nila on the following episode? Is that gonna be, because your podcast every once a month? Are you looking at getting every fortnightly or every weekly? If some of the audience and the listener wanted to do that for you, like they asking you for do that because of a lot of good episode na ginagawa nyo.
Okay. Regarding the schedule, medyo challenge lang because of we're also financial advisors, and then we have clients to meet. Coach Jendee has agents to meet as well. Kaya talagang once a month. Pero we're looking into, if kakayanin, twice a month. Yun na siguro yung max for now. But we still have to coordinate with that. And then, the following episodes, because of what's happening right now, parang nagiging new normal series yung mga episodes namin eh. Kasi new normal is new to everyone, obviously. So, we're all adapting at the same time. Pare-parehas naman tayo kasi first time na mangyari in our lives though. So, kung ano man yung mga natututunan namin as we go along, kung ano man yung, like yung last episode was na-request or natanong with a friend ni Coach Jendee because she's an HR and she doesn't know how to manage right now the new normal. No? So parang ganun ang mangyayari in the next episodes is more on mental health then because that is a pressing issue right now because everyone is kumbaga parang cabin fever minsan no na they cannot go out, so paano yung mga ganun outlets, we cannot do what we used to do, so nagkakaroon ng anxiety and depression. So we're focusing on that, and at the same time finances, of course, how to manage finances while in this situation.
So almost 1 year now. So you're saying a couple of episodes will be tackling about mental health on each episode now because of the COVID-19. Why do you think we have to cover this mental health? This topic is very sensitive to other people. So how would you explain to them sa inyong episode na kailangan nating pag-usapan ito during this time of pandemic?
Ikaw naman, Coach, para...
Sige. You say, Miko, na let me just repeat that. Yung how we're going to tell to our audience that we need to talk about mental health. Ayan, sige. With regards to, ayun nga, I mentioned earlier na yung ating content is very raw and it's very us. So, hindi siya kumbaga yung the likes of podcasts that we have to sugarcoat whatever is happening within our conversations. And when we say we're going to talk about mental health, especially during these times, yun nga, it's based on our own experiences, based on our experiences with our coaches. And I think, hindi na natin siya need mag-create ng awareness about it because it's already happening. before COVID, during COVID, and I'm sure even after COVID, there will be a lot of people who might be needing help in terms of addressing mental health concerns. And if I'm not mistaken, Coach Neri mentioned also dun sa previous podcast namin na mental health is not just about what's happening within our minds or our mental aspect, no? Kasi mental health awareness may be tackling also or maybe touching also with other areas of their life. So again, going back dun sa purpose of Pay It Forward today and yung our advocacy of having a balanced life, it's really holistic eh. So I think our audience, the reason why they keep on hearing our podcast is maybe because of our, how would you say it? Maybe that's our brand. Kung i-ano natin sa sales and marketing, it's our brand. Tapos what is our unique, kung isa kaming product, what is our unique selling proposition is the uniqueness itself of the two of us. Kasi even off-cam and on-cam, or on or without audio, what you see is what you get sa aming dalawa ni Coach Neri. So, I think ako naman, as part of the team sa Pay It Forward today, that's what I enjoy, na whatever we talk about is not scripted. So, kung ano talagang naisip namin, talagang binabato namin sa isa't isa, what we think might be relevant, then what we think may help our listeners. So, I think yung uniqueness, yun yung tingin kong mas makakapag-create ng awareness. And then also, we reach out to our friends also to give us feedback as well. Kung may natutunan ba sila, kung meron silang topics na sinasuggest nila about it, then we always try to address it. So, yan.
Okay.
To add to that,
Yeah. Go, Neri. Yeah.
to add to that, yun nga, mental health nga, kasi ngayon, if napapansin ko dun sa mga social media posts, people are getting riled up, mga gano'n, no? So, emotions are, actually, people are more emotional right now. Napapansin ko, no? So, kaya nga din yung mga topics namin, sabi nga ni Coach Jendee, it's based on the people that we talk to, yung mga clients namin, and even kung ano yung mga napapansin ko rin, napapansin namin sa social media, what's out there, no? Kaya, we're not technical people naman kasi eh. So, we just focus on the experiences. Kaya, sa tingin ko, kaya mas nakaka-relate din yung mga listeners.
All right. Thank you for that. So any other so we're gonna wrap up the show right now. So any message for our listener and also for our audience about what they're gonna expect on the podcast or
To our listeners, katulad nung na-mention ko kanina, no, we're focusing now on the new normal because that's where we are right now. And Coach Jendee and I just want to help you adapt, no, to the new normal. Kasi nga, we're all in this together. We just want people to be okay, even if they're not okay. Kasi ganun yun sa mental health. And of course, our financial advocacy din to help people, no, regarding financial literacy, especially.
Ayan. In addition to sa sinabi ni Coach Neri, so we will do our best also to level up every podcast that we're going to create. Makakaasa po yung ating mga fellow Filipinos and also friends of our friends na yung ating pong pag-uusapan will always help you to the best of our ability. Yan. And remember that it's always about paying it forward. So whether we would receive anything or not, it's okay with us. It's all about paying it forward po. So yun lang po.
all right, thank you so much. So by the way, if someone want to contact you, any listener, any viewer right now, how they can contact both of you?
Okay, so syempre po yung first po natin is yung ating Facebook page. So just look for Pay It Forward Today. So hindi naman po kayo malilito kasi mukha po namin ni Coach Neri yung nandun. So Pay It Forward Today, napaka-simplified ng aming logo para siyang light bulb, no? So kasi it's an idea, paying it forward, contents and everything. So kaya ganun yung logo niya. Tapos the two of us, makikita niyo po kaagad dun sa page. Then Coach Neri has her own Facebook page as well. So later, paano natin kay Coach Neri no, yung pinaka-exact dapat nilang i-type sa Facebook, no? So, ako naman, madali lang din po. So, Coach Jendee de Guzman, nasa Facebook din po. So, just shoot us a message so para ma-help pa po namin kayo more in all areas of your life. So, yan. Coach Neri?
Yes, thank you, Coach. My Facebook page is Coach Neri Sotero. And you can also connect with me in Instagram at Neri D. Sotero. Ang handle.
Alright, so yan sa ating mga listener and viewers. So, check their page as well. And also the Facebook page of Pay It Forward po. So, let us support the Pay It Forward podcast, and also let us support all the podcaster on Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate, Philippines, and also all the Filipino podcaster around the globe. So, supportahan po natin ang ating mga kababayan. Alright, thank you so much, Coach Neri, and
thank you, Miko.
Jendee. Thank you
Miko.
for your time today for this show.
Thank you sa Guerrilla Podcast.
Yes.
No worries. Thank you so much, and
Thank you so much.
thank you for our audience and listener, and see you next week for another episode of Behind the Podcast. Thank you.
Awesome.
Have a good day.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good day.
Stay safe.
Be safe. All right. Thank you.
Ayan.
Ayan.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or via RSS. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, rate and review this podcast and share it with your friends. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And if you want to know more, check out www.guerrillapodcast.com.au or guerrillapodcast.com.ph. A Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate production.